In this video, you will discover the 5 habits that, according to the Bible, lead to prosperity. Have you ever wondered what distinguishes successful people from those who aren't? Have you questioned why some people manage to progress financially, while others always face obstacles? Have you felt that your financial situation is stagnant and not moving forward? While many attribute prosperity, or the lack thereof, to the government, the system, or the distribution of resources, it's crucial to highlight that these factors influence but do not determine. According to a UL Flux report, 60% of multimillionaires built their fortunes on their own merit. But before we continue here, subscribe to the channel, my friends, so you can always receive videos that will add a lot to your life. And click the bell icon so that when new videos are released, YouTube will notify you right away. Also, like this video. Your like is very important and will help YouTube recommend these videos to other people as well, okay? So let's continue here. Now, the central question: what makes someone wealthy? What drives prosperity? Pay attention. Financial results are achieved through financial practices. To get rich, it's necessary to adopt habits that lead to wealth. We are, to a large extent, the result of our choices. The Bible surprisingly reveals what these wealth-building habits are. The Holy Scriptures indicate the paths to financial progress, and these are the habits I will present in this video. Have you ever imagined discovering the secrets of the greatest minds in the world without any effort? It may seem incredible, but it is now a reality with our kit of 100 summarized books, including audiobooks and PDFs of the most valuable parts. Learning has become more accessible than ever. Don't miss this opportunity. Get your kit by clicking the first link in the description. We start with an important caveat. The Bible does not promise financial wealth to anyone, not even devout Christians. This means we should not demand wealth from God by following biblical principles. However, it is undeniable that those who follow the financial principles of the Scriptures are more likely to achieve spiritual, family, and financial prosperity. In summary, by following biblical advice, you will be more inclined to financial prosperity, but you should not demand it from God or negotiate with Him. With this declaration made, let's move on to the 5 habits that lead to wealth according to the Bible. Habit number 1: living below your means. The first wealth-building habit is living on less than you earn, which means not spending all that you receive and setting aside a portion of your income. This is what the Bible recommends. Remember the story of Joseph in Egypt during the 7 years of abundance followed by the 7 years of scarcity? Living below one's means allowed Egypt to face the scarcity and thrive in the midst of crisis. This advice is also present in Proverbs 21:20, which says, "There is desirable treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man squanders it." Unfortunately, most people do not have the habit of living below their means, spending everything they receive. To prosper financially, it is essential to adopt this habit. Habit number 2: having more than one source of income. The second wealth-building habit is having multiple sources of income. As the saying goes, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Why shouldn't we put all our eggs in one basket? Because if that basket falls, we lose all the eggs. The obvious way to minimize risks is to divide the eggs into several baskets. I know you're already familiar with this. After all, almost everyone knows it. But knowledge is not wisdom. Knowledge is not practice. I emphasize this because, unfortunately, few people apply this saying in their lives. Having only one source of income is the same as putting all your eggs in one basket. It doesn't matter if you've had a stable job for a long time or if you're an employee. It doesn't matter if you've had a successful business for years. Relying on only one source of income is very risky because jobs are not lifelong, businesses can fail, salaries, including those of public employees, can become obsolete, and unforeseen events will likely happen sooner or later. On this, see what Ecclesiastes 11:6 says. "Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well." Consider my advice. Develop the habit of having multiple sources of income. It is a habit that develops over time and is practiced daily. I have friends who have this habit. Whenever I spend time with them, I realize the importance of this practice. I learn a lot about the importance of establishing revenue streams. I remember a day when I was at a restaurant with one of these friends. We were having lunch and evaluating how the place could be improved and stabilized. We observed the cash register and discussed the need to offer desserts, chocolates, and treats to customers who had just finished their meals. We watched the customers' behavior, and suggestions quickly emerged about what the restaurant should offer to increase profitability. Those who are in the habit of generating revenue streams are always identifying possibilities. Develop this habit as well. Habit number 3, have an emergency fund. The third habit is to have an emergency fund. This fund refers to money set aside that can only be used in emergency situations, whether a positive emergency, such as an exchange program or a business opportunity, or in cases of seemingly negative emergencies, such as unemployment or health issues. I'll be honest, I'm surprised that people still don't know the wealth-building power of having an emergency fund. Personally, I wonder if people knew how enriching it is to have a fund. Everyone would have one. See what the Bible says about this. Notice what happened in Egypt when an emergency fund was created during the 7 years of abundance. All the financial power of the pharaohs, which we know today through the Bible, historical records, and archaeological evidence, was obtained largely through the emergency fund instituted by Joseph. Egypt's financial reserve prospered like never before. I know some will say that Egypt only created an emergency fund because they knew there would be 7 years of abundance. However, you should establish a fund even if you only assume there will be unforeseen events. Unforeseen events will always arise. In fact, they are predictable. This is what the Bible states in Ecclesiastes 9:11. I have seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise or wealth to the brilliant or favor to the learned. But time and chance happen to them all. It doesn't matter if you serve God and follow His commandments and precepts, you are not exempt from unforeseen events. The wisest thing is to be prepared to face them, and one way to prepare is with an emergency fund. After all, money serves as protection. This is what the Bible states in Ecclesiastes 7:12. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it. Thus, the emergency fund, besides having a high protective potential, is also an enriching habit. I speak from personal experience. If you've been following me for some time, you probably know that I became unemployed after getting married. This happened shortly after the wedding when I had taken on new financial commitments. Losing my job could have ruined many people's lives, but thanks to God, I already knew the biblical teachings about the emergency fund at that time. I had already created a fund that could sustain me for over a year. It was through this fund that I was able to realize my dream of dedicating myself full-time to transforming lives through biblical financial teachings, without the need for a fixed job and without facing the daily chaotic traffic of my city. Habit number 4, invest. Remember that the enriching habits mentioned here, such as living below your means, are one of the reasons why you should live below your means in order to invest. It is undeniable that developing the habit of investing in stocks, real estate funds, fixed income, properties, businesses, or other products will provide a much more prosperous financial life. At various moments, the Bible advises us about investing. One such moment can be seen in the parable of the talents told by Jesus in Matthew 25. In short, this parable tells the story of a master who distributes his wealth among his servants according to their abilities. Some servants invested what they received and multiplied their wealth, but one of the servants buried what he received and did not invest. When confronting him about this attitude, the master said, "You should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest." Matthew 25:27 reminds us that everything we possess belongs to God, and He desires that we multiply the resources He entrusts to us. Our spiritual, familial, and financial resources should be expanded. If you truly wish to have a more prosperous financial life, It is essential to learn how to invest. After all, it was determined that you could stop working for money. By investing, you put money to work for you and achieve financial freedom. I won't lie. Developing the habit of investing isn't simple at first, especially when it comes to investments and financial products. Initially, you may feel apprehensive about opening an account with a brokerage, transferring money to the brokerage, or choosing financial products, whether in fixed income or variable income. My advice is not to let fear prevent you from investing. Over time, you will learn, gain more confidence, and the results will start to appear. The fifth enriching habit, according to the Bible, is to seek wisdom. Proverbs says, "Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gains understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold." The path to financial prosperity inevitably goes through wisdom. But what is wisdom? One of the best definitions of wisdom is knowing how to act, that is, knowledge put into practice. Keep this in mind. Wisdom is applied knowledge. Knowledge alone has little value. What is more valuable is the practical application of that knowledge. For example, many know that it is crucial to save, but few have the wisdom to actually save. When hearing about the importance of living below their means, unfortunately, few will have the wisdom to truly implement this. See what Proverbs 13:16 says. "Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool flaunts his folly." Therefore, you need to acquire knowledge, and when it comes to personal finances, you need to understand intelligent ways to make money, passive income, emergency funds, investments, local and international stocks, investment funds, fixed income, and so on. More than knowing, you need to acquire wisdom, which means putting into practice what you know. Here are the 5 enriching habits: living below your means, having more than one source of income, having an emergency fund, investing, and seeking wisdom. I have 2 pieces of news for you, one good and one not so good. The good news is that each of these habits can radically transform your life. I speak from personal experience, as I noticed a significant improvement in my life with each habit I managed to acquire and implement. When I started living below my means, my life improved. The same happened when I started having more than one source of income and when I created my emergency fund. I also experienced improvements by investing and relentlessly seeking financial wisdom. The not-so-good news is that these habits are not easy to acquire. It won't be overnight that you will be able to implement each of them. But be patient with yourself. Take one step at a time. I'd like to recommend a book, The Power of Habit. This book can help you a lot in acquiring new habits, and you can find it in our kit of 100 summarized books in audiobook and PDF. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments. A big hug, may God be with you, and see you next time. I hope you found this video amazing and useful. Remember, if you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. See you next time.